Hi everyone, welcome to today's meeting. Meeting in truth. Today I'd like to talk about the tenets of, Buddhists and Hindus actually adhere to these 5 tenets of Prema, Shanti, Satya, Dharma, and Ahimsa. And Shirdi Sai Baba, who was an avatar. People are still entering the platform. So Shirdi Baba always taught us, reminded us of these 5 tenets. And I would like to reiterate these 5 tenets that we are going to be contemplating today, and also then doing a practice based on these 5 tenets, which is Prema. Prema is unconditional love. Shanti, which is peace. Satya, which is truth. Dharma, which is the self-organizing intelligence, which you would call cosmic law. And Ahimsa is nonviolence. And we are all here to tune ourselves to these 5 tenets. Use your life, use your karma, good karma and bad karma. Use all of your capacities to tune yourself to these 5 tenets. This is not theory. Because the 5 tuning of your soul to these tenets bring about a transcendence or the adherence to the supreme divine self or consciousness, which we already are. So I would start with Dharma. I said that Dharma was the adherence to this self-organizing intelligence, which is a cosmic law. You will notice that you have to go through a series of experiences throughout your life. A lot of us, I'm talking in general, some souls have been developing so much in their past lives that, let's say, at the age of 16, like Ramana Maharshi, he had this experience of his true self. And from then on, that was crystallizing. It was a very astute remembrance when he was 16, because he was contemplating death. And he understood that which he took for granted, that he was a body, was actually not so. So he had a direct experience of the truth, reality. But for most of us, this happens gradually. And why we are on this platform, and why we read the teachings of spiritual masters, is because we are seeking a bit more than just having a multitude of human experiences, by which I mean the conventional adherences of life. Of course, they're not to be diminished in any way, but there's a little bit more to life than that. And Dharma is your path when you truly start tuning yourself to this self harmonizing intelligence. So that is Dharma. And when you start truly stepping onto that path, it's it's almost impossible to not be on the path. But there are some cul-de-sacs, blind streets where you're more enmeshed with the mirage of the self-gratifying, self-referencing mode of your sensual experiences. The five senses move outwards, and that's all there is to life. Yes. But that's very important. The senses move out, they live life, they have gathered experiences, lessons, yes. But there is a much more refined layer to that, a much more refined layer. And that is beyond the five senses. So for me, and I think it's also in the scriptures, that yes, you're stepping onto the cosmic law, the path of cosmic law, which is also in the Ashtanga Yoga path, the Eightfold Path, the first two tenets, the yamas and niyamas, adherence to moral tenets of non-lying, non-cheating, performing karma yoga, which means you perform actions without any expectation of their outcome, and so on. That's yama. Niyamas are some practices that help you correct your path so that you can fully step onto the dharmic path. So these two tenets help. The basis for, have you ever thought of why do you meditate? If you meditate, you can also meditate by walking or dancing. It doesn't matter. Meditation is not just purely sitting down. But meditation, in essence, needs to bring you closer to love. But I would preface love, which is the prema, by shanti. So when we meditate, we also start deconstructing the chitta vrittis, which are the constant whirling imprintings of your mind. These are energetic fluctuations that constantly whirl in your energetic field. And unless there is some witnessing capacity, you're not going to start to deconstruct those whirling patterns. You may have brought that in from your past lives, or you may have developed that in this lifetime. It doesn't matter really. So you, in meditation, start deepening into the shanti, the peace that is ever present here and right now. And you will see that even at your highest lunacy and turbulence, if you truly witness, oh, the personality is acting out, but there's always that backdrop of peace to your experience, even in the most raging moments. You can play a double role. You can be the eye of the storm, and you can also be involved in the storm. Because peace lies as a backdrop underneath all experience. How would you experience peace? Limitlessness, spaciousness, unchanging. And yes, the ultimate truth is always paradoxical because that peace is also dynamic. It's also relational. So never just take these human words that use human language, human words. Their use is very limited. And our inquiry into the nature of consciousness is never based solely in concepts. So Shanti is the peace, and then Prema. Prema is the unconditional love, which is that staff that is creating the multiverse. Can you imagine that the entire phenomenal world existence is brought about through this force of love? You can call it force. And we cannot confuse it with what generally humans call love. Ego love is maybe the last gradation of prema. So this love keeps everything together, but also brings everything about. So in fact, when we inquire through the tool of yogic sciences, yoga, jug, connection is about connecting you to that love. Supreme consciousness is prema. But then supreme consciousness is also satya, truth, correct? It is the ultimate truth that is spontaneous. It always existed and it will always exist. It's beyond time, space. It's beyond dogma. It's beyond language. So truth, satya, is also one of the modes of unraveling this self-organizing intelligence. As cosmic law. That is the truth. And it's not human truth. It's not human law. It is so alive. It's so all-encompassing. But at the same time, every single manifestation plays a key role in it. Every single leaf, blade of grass, human soul, animal, plays a key role in this vastness of self-organizing intelligence. And ahimsa is the non-violence. Ahimsa on an everyday level calls us, this concept of ahimsa, non-violence, is to stop judging. Because ahimsa draws us away from separation. And if I judge, I reinforce separation. So automatically part of prema, satya, and shanti, there must be this aspect of ahimsa, of non-violence. Where we actually see this self-referencing mechanism called ego. I this, I that, I don't, I do, I like, I dislike, I want, I don't want. That's called self-referencing, which is constantly going on in the background. Am I loved? Am I given? Am I taking? Am I giving? Ahimsa is a very, very powerful term. For me personally, a hurdle on this path is not to judge, even if, let's say, from the point of intellect, I think I know better and I judge. There's this tenet that all of our spiritual sadhana, which means spiritual practice, can be annulled in a second at a violent outburst of judging, self-righteousness. And I still fall into those cracks. So consider that. And what am I now talking? I'm talking about Dharma. I'm talking about self-organizing intelligence. Okay? So that intelligence still knows, oh, this character here who's speaking, Esther, is trying to transcend, trying to be one with the ultimate love, wisdom, and intelligence, the law of one. And where does she still veer away from that? Dharma is very specific. And then there's Dharma and there is Adharma. Adharma is the opposite of Dharma. That's when a human is fully enmeshed in the whirlwind of sensual experiences. And none of this even enters their consciousness. None of the tenets of universal laws, of love, of peace, of nonviolence, of truth. They don't even get to touch on it ever. I don't want to now go into that detailing of consumerism, of running after the mirage, of acquiring objects, and so on. So we can see there are the five tenets: prema, shanti, satya, dharma, and ahimsa. And I do feel Shirdi Sai Baba's presence. And he was an avatar who actually had nothing. He lived as an avanhut, which means they fully renounce the world. I'm not saying you need to do that, but he did. I don't think it was conscious. He was just so unbound that that's how his life was unfolding. And all he was doing is he was helping souls on this earth plane. So let us close our eyes and reach. It doesn't take time. It doesn't take time. It's right here. All of those aspects of our supreme divine self. First, we pray to fully, courageously step and walk on our path of Dharma, in adherence with the law of one, self-organizing intelligence. Do not mistake that for any personification. Self-organizing intelligence of your body, of your cells, of your breath, of nature. Feel into this. Self-organizing intelligence of your breath, that keeps you alive, that allows you to be nourished by prana. Prana is also part of this self-organizing intelligence, which gives you automatic nourishment of source. And it doesn't cost money. It's not branded, because everything that still matters in this world is still free. Let me repeat this. Everything that is essential in this world is available to you in abundance. Feel the backside of your body. Allow the spine to become this antenna, which it is, of self-organizing intelligence. Feel that as soon as you step into that field of the spine, you zoom in there and you start being drawn into peace. Peace is also the father of unrest because it always underlies everything. Just like music, sound is birthed from silence. Silence in the musical notation is of key importance. Notice that your entire life is a contrast of rest and movement, peace and turbulence. And they play out their dialectic. They play out so that you can experience. Move into the spine and see this as your immediate tool of tapping into the self-organizing intelligence of the cosmos. A wand. We're going to start harmonizing the intelligence of your heart with the intelligence of your third eye. Feel the backside of the heart. And notice that there is this, from an aqua blue and aquamarine light all the way to a very dark blue light, depending on what your DNA activations have so far allotted to you. Just feel this blue light in your heart from the backside. It's oozing from the backside of the heart. It is the inception point. Once you activate these properties, you can heal people. Feel the backside of your heart, aqua blue, aquamarine, or a deep cosmic, very deep, deep dark blue. Almost black, but it's still blue. Coming from the mystical cave, the divine cave of your heart. The Diamond Sutra of the Buddhist tradition. Reminds us of this divine cave. Feel into this. Aqua blue and aquamarine light. Sometimes it gives us this sensation of pain because it starts healing. It starts entering consciously at this time. The crevices of our multi-layered heart. Layer by layer. This divine blue light is helping you to allow thy will be done. Thy will be done. This is the transmission of your realization, remembrance. Of the self-organizing intelligence. That animates your being. And as soon as you remember what happened, feel this aqua blue and aquamarine light in your heart. It's still entering all of the layers. Once you tap into this self-organizing intelligence, then the rigidity of your ego, the limited self, starts to recognize that it's drop. That it was a drop. It is a drop. Part of the limitless, unbound ocean. And it starts to release the anxiety, the anxiety that comes from the misguidedness that I am in control. And I need to do all this. I need to conduct this life. Feel that your heart is ascending into the higher heart, which is at the place where your collarbones meet, center of the body. It's ascending, activating this force of the higher heart. It goes beyond the throat, backside of your head. It's slithering up, this aqua blue and aquamarine force of grace. This is the grace of the Divine Mother force. All of the avatars, all of them, are performing the will of the Divine Mother. Shirdi Sai Baba, Yeshua, Mary, Magdalena, and so many others. And this form, your body, is an avatar. An avatar that will do greater things than I, as Yeshua said. Tap into this divine aqua blue and aquamarine force gushing through your heart upwards, and it's reaching your third eye. And you start melting your separateness at this arrival between your heart and your third eye. You start melting, surrendering your separateness. When you look up with your eyeballs towards your third eye, you lift up your tongue towards the upper palate, curl it up. And in your third eye, you start seeing the lotus feet of your inner guru, Antaryamin, Antar Atma, the soul that you are. And you're lifted up 12 finger widths above your head. And you bow down to the intelligence of your own inner self-organizing intelligence. Feeling this in your heart and in your third eye. If you feel you have the ripenness, you bow down to your higher intelligence and say, Thy will be done. Feel that always existing ascension path. It's always available, even in the darkest time. From your heart, higher heart, throat, back side of the head, center of your head, past your crown, all the way 12 finger widths above your head. That is the Dvadashanta, the seat of your higher self. And you bow down to that self-organizing intelligence. which is always veering you towards Dharma, towards Satya, peace, towards, sorry, Satya is truth, Shanti, peace, Prema, unconditional love, and Ahimsa, non-violence. See this vividly, this pathway from the heart all the way 12 finger widths above your head. And now surrender all of your biggest hurdles into this energetic channel of aqua blue and aquamarine luminescence. The great heart of the mother is taking imbibing all of your limiting hurdles. That heart is also your heart. There's no separation. You just have to attune. Attune. I give it over to you. All the pain, that separation is causing. All the illusions of loneliness, all the seeking, craving, that you perform, that we perform in order to be whole. May we all surrender. That which is the pain of separation. Dharma is living according to thy will be done. So that your heart is attuned to channel the heart of the divine self. And now see from 12 finger widths above, you're channeling this immense aqua blue and aquamarine light through your heart space 360 degrees into your heart, and the heart is pumping it through into this realm so that you become a clear channel. There's nothing in between you, the supreme divine heart, and your specific coordinate, XY coordinate, where your heart, physical heart is. What a magnificent play of divinity is. Playing hide and seek with itself. Feel this immense aqua blue and aquamarine light coming through 12 finger widths above your head, through the crown, third eye, heart, and the heart is dispersing it. You can visualize first all the people that are close to you receiving these rays of aqua blue and aquamarine heart, which is all of the divine self-organizing intelligence of Prema, Satya, Dharma, Ahimsa, and Shanti. All of the people. And then we move a little further, that every single being, plant, animal, human, is pierced by this ray, making you the avatar, the healers, the facilitators of ascension, strengthening the unity consciousness in this realm. Rewiring and rewriting your family ancestry, stopping the code of separation. We cancel out all hive programming. And I ask for the full correction into the supreme divine unity, consciousness. There's absolutely no difference between your heart and the one heart of the supreme divine self. Allow to merge this divine aqua blue and aquamarine love ray into the people with whom you had a lot of animosity with. See your heart streaming prema, unconditional love towards them. And you will notice that you feel less and less and less separate, less and less. You will feel a person because it is only the divine will acting through you. Sai Ram.